Welcome to Cranky Live Sports Talk, where passion meets action.
Hey sports fans, I am Cranky, and this is the Cranky Live Sports Talk, the podcast where we dive deep into the hottest topics, the biggest games, and the most controversial moments in sports.
Whether it's football, basketball, track and field, cricket, or soccer, we've got you covered with expert analysis, insider interviews, and unfiltered opinions.
Join me as I chat with the biggest names in sports, get exclusive insights and stories you won't hear anywhere else.
Cranky Live Sports Talk is where you can hear the real talk, the hard-hitting questions, and the hottest takes.
So, if you're a true sports fanatic, you don't want to miss out? Subscribe now to the Cranky Live Sports Talk on YouTube and hit that bell icon to never miss an episode.
Cranky Live Sports Talk, where sports come alive. Subscribe today.
I'm not sure why this is here. Good evening, good evening, good evening. No, I should say good night, actually. Well, it's 9 o'clock yet? No, I guess it's evening. How's everyone doing? How are you doing? Good evening. I have a little noise in the background here. Hello, hello, hello. It's Friday evening. This is your favorite YouTuber, Cranky. Bless up, Tuki. I see IMAX was here, WeMax was here and disappeared. How's it going? My something's wrong. My screen, people, is flashing. This episode may not work. I don't know what's happening here. I tried to. My computer is crashing. It looks like. I don't know what's happening. I may have to close the stream down. Somehow today, I tried to link my computer to my Google account. I'm not sure if it got corrupted or something, but it's acting. If you were to watch my screen, I can't show it to you, but it's just going back and forth, flickering like crazy. I may have to shut this down and start over, people. This is not good. I'm not sure. All right, it stopped now. I don't know what the hell is happening. It did it today and it's doing it again. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Hopefully this will not be the entire evening. I don't know what I did today, but I tried to link my Google account to my MacBook Pro and it was acting as if I gave it something that made it matter something, just going crazy. But good evening. This should be a good show, actually. I plan to get myself in trouble tonight, so this is a good show. You know, so it's a special time. It's at it's not the normal 6 p.m. on Monday through Thursday. It's actually Friday. I didn't do a show on Wednesday or Thursday. I had some obligations. I don't know what's happening to my computer here. I had some obligations. Bless up One Love, bless up Eco Reeds. Thanks for joining, Paul Watkis. And now my this is be a mad show. It's be a mad day. My phone here is acting up. It's recording everything I'm saying. It's already recorded on YouTube. You don't have to do it. So I had I had 4 things I want to talk about this evening. One was about something that a lot of people have talked about, but I try to always put a different spin around Isaac Hayden. And him joining the Reggae Boyz. So I'll talk about that first. Then we're going to talk about the US versus Jamaica, but that's not what we'll touch upon first. Second, we're going to touch upon something that I heard Gary Neville said, which you saw on the screen earlier, around Bless Up Lowell's network. Thanks for joining. Too many people are at the same time. Probably. I'm trying to fix my phone here. My phone is acting like it's going mad. So I'm gonna talk about the Gary Neville situation with England. You know, they had Tuchel as their new coach, and it's being a madhouse in England. I will do an analogy between England and Jamaica in terms of how people of a certain demographics or age range think, actually. Really interesting how they align. Then we'll talk about something that's been bugging me, and I talked about it the other day, which is how we make excuses for some players who are not playing well, and not sure why that's the case, but we do that. So I'll touch upon that also. Obviously, we'll touch upon some of the things that you want to talk about. We'll also talk about the coach. Some things around the coaching situation, which I've been thinking about and find interesting, actually. If you just come in, please hit the like button, because it should be a good show. I'm looking forward to this show, actually. So let me start with Hayden first, and then I touch upon Never. Let me start with Hayden first, because he just joined us. He's at Newcastle. I think he's in the reserve team, and a lot of conversation about Hayden and what he said previously, and should he come and play for the country, all sort of stuff. You know how we are as Jamaican. We're into ourselves. We believe that we're the cream of the crop. Everybody should come play for us and play for no one else, no matter where they were born. So Hayden, by the way, Hayden currently is in Jamaica. It is best up for route. It is my understanding, I'm not giving away any secret, that he filed his papers with PICA, and all the papers look good. So he's going to wait for hear from PICA about timing. Now, normally the process to get your citizenship, if all your papers are aligned, and if you file from overseas, is about, and based on my experience, about 4 months. And it's a very easy process, actually. You go there. If your mom and dad are citizens, in this case with my mom, you just give them all your information, like your driver's license, passport, whatever it is that you have from the country you're from. And then they just process it, and they charge you. Well, let's say they charge. It's not a lot of money. It's a few $100s for each, but they will give you your citizenship, and you take your photographs about your citizenship papers and your passport papers. So all simultaneously. It's not you go one day and come back the next day, right? It's smooth, and then you get your passport like 4 months later. Cranky, oops, that you're trying to did not into Aiden and he cleared up why he's not playing. Okay. I didn't hear why he's not playing. I thought he wasn't in Eddie Howe's plan, is what I heard. So I don't know. Kevin, people say Isaac is not supposed to play for Reggae Boyz because of the utterance yet or Golden did worse. Yeah. Aid need to wait on England. So that's Paul Watkins. So you know what? I'm gonna jump into another point that I have, and I'll come back to Hayden. So here's what we do as Jamaicans. We make excuses for those who are born locally and who we like and who we grew up watching. So I heard a lot of narrative about, well, the reason why Damari Gray is not playing well enough today is because Bailey's not on the field. What? They play on two separate wings. They don't even link together. Where we get this cockamamie nonsense from? They play on two separate wings. Yeah, sometimes Bailey play in the middle. When Halgrimsson was here, he's playing sort of the 10 sometimes. But a lot of times they're not linking. But Bailey don't pass the damn ball for Jamaica anyway. So what are we talking about? And then when McGee didn't play well in the stadium, I called into Maverick's program, or a Tracy program. I was listening. I'd called in a while ago. I was listening. And they were saying, well, we're at the stadium. And they were passing the ball to McGee. You know what McGee's stats were in the first half? He had about 22 touches and about 9 turnover. That means almost every 2 balls he got, he gave away one of those balls. Now, he had a very good game against Nicaragua, and he got his flowers. But he was poor against Honduras. And we're making all these excuses. Like, it's crazy. Oh, we do that. And when Bailey does his shenanigans, he has his supporters who will make all sorts of excuses for him. So the thing now is that Hayden says, you know what? Let's say Hayden say, you know what? I'm going to wait till I can, in my wheelchair, I'm going to play for England. That's where I was born. And now he want to change his mind, and we're losing our minds. While Bailey says Jamaica can't do nothing for him, and he refused to come some windows. Now he says he's injured. And we're saying we need Bailey. He has played third. At least the one thing I see Oral Tracy Maverick does is talk the truth. He ain't do crap for Jamaica on the field. Nothing. He not do nothing. Him poor. Him not even okay. Him poor for Jamaica. Poor for Jamaica. And you guys are going to make excuses and excuses upon excuses and excuses, which is ridiculous. If somebody plays poorly, they play poorly. Now, it could be, if you're saying the field, then the field affects everybody, right? Honduras played on the same darn field we're talking about. So when you're making excuses for McGee and for Bailey, but you want to crucify other people, because I heard Palmer was being booed. Why do you guys boo McGee when he's coming on the field? He was poor. He was more poor than Palmer in that game against Honduras. Why you ain't boo McGee? But you're going to boo Palmer because you like easy targets. That's what you like to do. You like easy targets. Easy targets. They were born in Jamaica. They got to shut them out. Because those English-born players say nothing. You know, you don't say nothing negative about Jamaica, nothing negative about our fans ever from you hear them come. Maybe a few when they retire may say so, but not the current playing players. But some of the locally born players are free to say what they want to say. We don't have to stop it. It's unfair. It's not just. It's not right. And it's not cool. Treat people how you want to be. No, don't you know you want to be pretty because someone want to be treated well. Treat people fairly. Try to figure that out. I feel like sometimes I'm living in a parallel universe. I see that in the US with like Trump and his followers. I just feel like we're okay to be rude. We're okay to tell lies because lies are now becoming the truth. We're okay to be disingenuous. We're okay to lack integrity. We're okay to have double standards. It's just amazing how this crap works. And it's so frustrating to listen to and hear and be a part of. It's like you just feel like, you know what, let me go to another world because this world is screwed up, boy. Screwed up. You have genocide in the Middle East and people think it's okay. Just kill people, 40-something thousand people think it's okay. I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand, seriously. I am totally confused. I don't understand. And I didn't grow up in a world where that's supposed to be okay. So maybe it's okay in today's world, but I ain't grew up in that world, so I'm not familiar with that. I think a lot of people have lost their moral compass. It's like, no, they're more lost moral compass. They become morally bankrupt. Like all the Trump supporters, that's what I call them, morally bankrupt, including Trump. The point I'm trying to make about this is that if a player doesn't play well, like Holgate didn't play well, his excuse would be, you know what? It's my first game. I haven't played a lot of football. The field is not good. He can make his excuse he wants, but he didn't play well. Right? That's a fair point. It's not debatable. He didn't play well. He got better in the second half, but he was poor in the first half. Almost gave away a goal. He deserved to be criticized. I don't care if it's first game or not. But the criticism should be managed when it's the first game. But Maggie was poor in the stadium. Bailey's always poor. You know what? I said this, people. The best game Jamaica has played to me in the last 12 or 13 games. You guys tell me which game you think is the best game Jamaica played. I'm not going to say that. Let's see if we're in the right angle. We're aligned. Please tell me you think was the best game Jamaica has played. And I bet you guys won't align with me, the way I view it anyway. The best game Jamaica has played to me in the last 12, 13 games that I've been watching. Let me know what you think. Cuba. Please try again, Toki. Come on. Yeah, it's just Tycoon is just not a good thing, Tycoon. I just believe that people just gotta live. You know, if we all, the world, here's what's funny, Tycoon. The world have enough resources for all the 8 billion plus people on the planet to do well and do okay. But as human beings, we are greedy. Canada, but which Canada game difference? We played 2. One in Canada and one in Jamaica. Jamaica versus Canada. Mexico 2022. Okay. I don't agree with any of those, by the way. I need to know which Canada game you're talking about. Corber, you're talking about US game. I was at that game live, actually. People, I'm telling you, I have never been that disappointed in that game. When everybody was jumping in the stadium till the game was over, I was like, until the whistle blow, I'm not jumping up. Glad I didn't. Against the USA Nations League. Against the USA. Okay. A lot of good ones. One game in Canada, one half. A lot of good ones, actually. A lot of good ones. Even though I don't agree with any of them, actually, so far. And if you haven't hit the like button, please do so. I appreciate it. I don't agree with any of those, by the way, people, so far. I'm going to tell you which one. Panama, third place game. That was a good game also. Is that the game that Dexter scored in? Yeah, that's Creamer. That was a good game. Probably one of our better games against Panama. We've had our ticket, actually. You know, us and Panama, even though Panama do our players most times, but look at the record. It hasn't been good over the last, apart from the last time we played them for a while. It hasn't been good, but hey, maybe it's get better. I'm talking about Billy taking pressure off Gray because of a slower rotation when 2 or 3 wingers. Some truth to that. Gary has not been again. Nah, he just Gray to me. I've been told Gray's on the bench. Gray's not playing well, and Gray sulks when he doesn't get the ball. He sulks when he doesn't get the ball, and that doesn't help him. he doesn't go back and defend enough to help out Amari Bell and or Greg Lee, he has to get his act together, because if we have more wingers coming, he's going to find himself on the bench. Because thank you. Here's what I think, people. And here's where you guys got to really think about these things. When Cephas came in the game, his first 10 or 15 minutes, he was running around like a chicken without an egg. Without a head, I should say. And then in the last part of the game, he started saying, you know what? Let's go for a race. I'm going to pick the ball up. I'm going to stop it on Duran, and we're going to go for a race. And he beat his man 2 or 3 times. He had 2 or 3 successful dribbles, which show you that Gray should be doing the same thing. Oh, which game is it? So the game I think we played our best is the game we lost, which sounds contradictory. You know, people talk about ugly win is better than a pretty loss. The game we lost to me is our best game. So why? The game against Canada in Jamaica. So why is that? So let's go over the other games. The game against the US in the Nations League semifinal, we got battered. I was at the game. We were just hanging on for dear life. Now, we could have won the game without the own goal, or if Cephas has taken his chance when he had 1-on-1 with the keeper. But we were playing like how Cuba played us. We dropped deep and we defend and defend and defend. Boring football. Wasn't helpful. Make us look inferior. We didn't look dangerous, right? Against Canada in Canada, no, against Panama, it's a third place game. We played decent, but I'm not sure they were as interested if it was going to be a final. And we didn't really dominate them. I think they had a little bit more possession than we did. Have to check the stats. But we played okay. We played good. We won the game, but we didn't really dominate. Right? The game against Canada in Canada, we should have been down 5-0 at halftime, except for the brilliance of Blake. 5-0. I've counted all the chances. 5-0 at halftime. And then Damian Lowe became Superman and changed the whole complexion. So, yes, one half of brilliant football doesn't make a whole game. Just like when Lowe played the other day, first half against Honduras. People didn't realize that in Honduras, he was 27 of 28 passing. He didn't get man of the match, even though he would have had dominant first half. The game against Canada in Jamaica, because think about it, Canada is in the top 3 in the region. Some could say, I know Mexico is number 1 now, but Canada is in the top 3 and could be number 1 the way they're playing and the way they're playing Copa. And the way they were playing coming up to that game. They beat the US more recently. They're playing really well. And it's the same team. And in Jamaica, we got like 4 clear-cut chances. We lost 2-1. Bailey got 3 sitters. 3 sitters. I mean, the one over the left side, 2 going onto the Nanaville area. Maybe 2 or 3 going to that area. When he played the ball outside when it's hard for you to miss, when he had a corner come over, he had 3 sitters which he missed. You know why that's important? Because we ain't creating chances and we ain't scoring goals. How many goals have we scored from open play in this last 2 windows? How many goals we scored from open play? So that equated game in the Copa first half. That's the best half. Yeah, no, but the Copa game, we were getting dominated when he made the switch, right? We were playing 5 at the back, and he made a switch, and he changed. So that's a very good one also. But I thought the chances we created in the Canada game at home, given that how poor we have been at home, because I believe in creating opportunities, and we didn't create any opportunities. We haven't created opportunities. You must go. We have scored from open play in the last 4 games. How many goals we scored from open play? Bless up, Conrad. Thanks for joining. Yes, he could have, Jerome. He had goals after goals after goals in that game. I counted 3 or 4 clear-cut chances. We're not talking about half chances, people. We're talking about big XG. So eggs, 1 set piece, right? A penalty. So we had a penalty, 2 on goals, and a set piece. We scored nothing from open play. So when you guys are beating me about Antonio, and it's not only his fault, because you got to get the ball, but you guys are beating me about certain things, I'm not sure you guys are deciphering the stats and deciphering how we're playing and realizing we're not creating anything. You know, I said this the other day. The stats against Honduras are the most puzzling stats I've ever seen in a football game. The most puzzling stat. I'm supposed to be talking about Hayden, but we get to Hayden. The most puzzling stats. We had 62% possession or something around there. They had 38, right? Our 2 defenders, center half, had like 180 passes between the 2 of them. between 170 and 180 passes between two of them, out of 4 something. We had, 445 passes. They have 200 and something passes. Yet, their keeper made no save. They had 17 shots. I think we had 5. Blake had to make 5 saves, won the last shot of almost shot of the game. Their keeper didn't make a save when we were at home, when we had 62% possession. That's hard to do, people. You have to work to do that. That's not something by osmosis or by design. No, it has to be by design because it's not logical. Most teams that have that possession is dominating. So when some of you guys mentioned the Cuba game, I'm laughing. Cuba and Honduras' strategy was, first, Honduras didn't want to lose the game, so they sit back, and they know we're susceptible to the counter, so they're playing a counter-attacking football. So they sit back. What Honduras did, unlike Cuba, Honduras had 2 men just over the halfway line and cut the field short and realized we don't have a midfield to play through them or to create opportunities for individual midfielders to break the lines. So they'll sit back. We can't break the lines. We play the ball between our 2 center backs. We can't go anywhere. I played on the wide. Can't go anywhere. We just like stuck. It's like we're in mud. Cuba just basically said, you know what? We're not going to get beat today. We're just going to put 11 men behind the ball and they can pass it around all they want. Right? We're not a possession team. So when you see we have over 60% possession, we ain't earning that. It's given to us. I saw somebody also do it weird. We got 20% on 1 game, more than 1. Yeah, exactly. Counter-attacking football. Spurs used to do it against Man City all the time. Most times when you dominate possession, it's because you're the dominant team. But there are instances like these 2 games where the strategy they employ was, I'm going to sit deep and I'm going to let you come at me. And when you make a mistake, I'm going to punish you. Holgate almost made a chronic mistake, a really bad mistake by Holgate when he tried to pass the ball to Lati and Lati had his back turn or something. And we probably should have lost that game. And here's another thing too, people. We're lucky against Honduras. We haven't outplayed Honduras forever, and we have beaten them like 6 or 7 times straight. That is not explainable. If you're Honduras, you're wondering, what the hell is happening? I outplayed you in the last 3 or 4 games, and you're still winning every single time. We beat them 6 or 7 times straight. I don't remember when last we outplayed Honduras. They were better than us in Honduras. They missed chance of I should manage that word miss because we have a genius in the goal. I'm going to start lauding him. I've been doing it, and I see other people are not doing it. I'm going to laud him all the time. We have a genius in the goal. We should be playing at a much higher level. Genius in the goal. Always making ridiculous saves. Saving or, you know what, continuously. He was man of the match, I think, in the last 3 games, which tells you everything about your team. Even when you have 62% possession, your man of the match is your goalkeeper. That don't make no sense, people. That's crazy. Crank like you're broken a delay. Made ball. Hey, it's nice. You see, it's nice. I'm ball, my you. So you can see that I wasn't going ball before I went ball, before I ball in my head, right? Because normally if you go in ball, you will see the lines. I don't have any lines there. Crank, when you have a team down mentally, I don't. It's hard. When you have a team down mentally is when you're down in a position and you're barraging their goals with shot. People, we don't take 1 shot to goal. So when you guys are beating the acquisition of, I'm going to call it acquisition, or the changing of allegiance of Hayden. Hayden is a CDM, and I've one who's played 100. And you know what? So sometimes this is important. Hayden not played a lot of football, people, at CDM. It may be like Ravel, even though Hayden had a bad knee injury. You know, sometimes you just got talent is talent. Yes, he's not at the highest level now, but he's better than what we have. So Hayden has played 274 games, 118 in the Premiership. So Premier League is what 38 games per season. So he's played about 3 full years of matches. Forget about the golden assists. He does have a couple of red, and he gets a lot of yellow cards. Right? He got 4 red cards. He got about 65 yellow. So he does get yellow card, but at least when he gets yellow, he doesn't get red. 274 games, a lot of games for a player. And half of those games, or almost half of those games, are in the Premier League. He has about 82 in the Championship. So between the Championship and the Premier League, he has 200 games. Right? And he played for England under 16, 17, 19, 21. And maybe that's why you hear a player say, I'm waiting to play for England, because they've gone through the England setup. So they believe if I play with all those people who are playing, of course I can make England. I've done it at every age group. Why wouldn't I wait to do it? So when we get into our feelings about, oh, he now wants to change his mind because he's old, because that's what Obi Mikel says, and that's what other people are saying. Who is benefiting? He's benefiting, getting to play international football. We're benefiting. Life is about mutual benefit. If I'm benefiting, you're benefiting, why are you complaining about? Why are you whining about? What are you thinking about? Oh, we just choose this last resort. In the ban in your country. Stop crying about that. He's born. So what do people in England should think? These people are traitors. They're born in our country and they leave us to go somebody else. Why should we even give them a chance to play football? There's two sides to the coin. I'll play a Gary Neville tape about English coaching. So people, I think he's coming. I don't know where he is in his game. I watched him when he was at Arsenal. He was there for a while in the academy. He was playing centre half, by the way. At Arsenal, he wasn't a CDM. He became a CDM when he went to Newcastle and played at Newcastle. So he was a centre half for a while. So defense is in his makeup. And then he went to Newcastle, played the CDM and played well. Wasn't a bad player, played well. Yeah, I mean, Antonio is another story because I get beat on Antonio. Here's my philosophy, people. I agree. The midfield is not what we need. We need to enhance the midfield. But I also want my forward line to create something out of nothing. And apart from two rockets from 40 yards out, Antonio not creating on that one. Sorry, not creating on that one. Pick up the ball and go by two player. Him hold up play, even though he holds the ball up good, his layoff passes are not great. You watch Romario in the last game and watch Antonio in the game afterwards. Romario against Nicaragua, when he got the ball to him, he played it right in the path of the oncoming teammate who didn't have to break strides. Sometimes Antonio played the ball, you have run over the ball 9 right, Pierce, 9 right, Pierce. I don't care what I want to say. Yes, Dixon get rid of something. And I hear people are beating Dixon. Let me say some people. And same, the play for Charlton in the bench in the reserve team. Every time I see Dixon play for Jamaica, it looks okay. I don't see Dixon come on and look like he lost. Because when you're getting 5 and 10 minutes in football, it's not a good thing. You need to work yourself into the game. He doesn't get that opportunity. So I don't want to hear, say Dixon not good enough. And many people blame, say, and cause say, me only want foreign ball up at the team. I have no problem with Dixon on the team. I'll be honest. Now, if we get more seasoned and better players, like a Cameron Archer or some of those players, I may say, you know what, Dixie, you need to get yourself settled at Watford. But me not say that. Because I'll be going against what I think. I like Dixon. I like McGee. But if they ain't playing well, I'm going to call them out. If Rabel come in and did Rabel and McGee, it's no competition. I'm going to say that now. I like McGee. First time I see him play up close and personal when I was in Florida, I like, not a bad player. Need to work harder on defense. Need to also make some better decisions when he gets the ball because the ball is precious. Doesn't treat it like it's his wife. That's how he should treat the ball. Well, some people treat their wife bad, so I probably shouldn't use that analogy there. But you got to treat it like it's precious metal. You don't want to lose it. Right? Like a last glass of water. That's how you should treat the ball. Sometimes I think he can be a little bit careless, but I do think he has ability. And he should be given another opportunity. Unless we bring in some other players who we believe are going to give us more than he gives us. Kid deserves another opportunity. So Dixon and Rabbit, I have a problem. Dixon, and and McGinn, I have a problem with. Reed, I don't like to beat youngsters, but I don't know why he's in the team. I don't understand why he's in the team. And the coach talking about side of his mouth. I saw him. I liked him. He played against Police. He was wonderful. I brought him to camp. I saw him playing against Cavaliers against, what was it? I forget who Cavaliers played. Was it Arnold or one place or something? And I like him, but I'm not bringing him to the camp. But I didn't bring Russell back. So there's more space. And I bring more defenders than midfielders. I'm confused. The logic escapes me. So anyway, let me go back to Hayden because I'm jumping around here a little bit. So you can see Hayden's stats, people. They're not bad stats. He's not a goal scorer. He has 26 goal contribution in 270-something games. Right? So about 1 in every 10 games, he has a goal contribution. Not terrible. Bailey has scored 5 goals in 30 games. But he's a winger. And a CDM, you don't expect that from. Bless up, Chris. Thanks for joining. Eagle Republic says, Cranky, keep telling people whatever. Listen, Jamaica, we have a problem. And go could be the man of the match and finishing close second. Yeah, it's not a good thing. Not a good thing. We can't be happy with our midfielders and our forwards. I need the Nicaragua game. The midfield played decent. And against Cuba game, the midfield played decent. We ain't scoring a goal. Against Cuba, Jamal Lowe had a ball that even your grandmother could score. And try to beat the man and go wide and just get the ball another goal. Goal empty with the mouth open like a shark trying to eat some meat or something, or whatever shark eat. And the man would just get the ball and go. I try to beat the man wide. That makes no sense. It's illogical. Very, very illogical. So yeah, those are the Hayden stats. And it's, look, hey, you know what? All I know can come. Because all I know can play. Everyone I know who have Jamaican heritage, who can get a passport and citizenship. First of all, I think every Jamaican, people with Jamaican heritage should do that actually. I don't think it should be just sports and athletes. Doctors, lawyers, nurses, plumbers, I think they all should get if they have Jamaican heritage, it's a Jamaica passport and citizenship. And hope we stop the gun Jamaica so we can go back there and live when we choose. And we don't worry about no man come run with no gun thing. Right? Because I know enough people. We know enough people that go back to Jamaica go live. Then so they now go back and then can't take the pressure. Even though I have friends who go back to Jamaica and live there, half the time here, and they don't feel concerned. So it varies. But when you hear about all the violence, it may not be around you, it affects you mentally. Yeah, I heard Ravel. Didn't I hear somebody say Ravel scored recently? So hopefully Ravel get a call. We see what happens. Hutchins can't forward. Don't get to. She's not gonna pick you for England. Yeah, that's Hutchins. Look, if Hutchins doesn't come back, I don't really care. I have less tolerance. So and people say this a little bit hypocritical. I don't. I have less tolerance for somebody who say I'm staying in England, then come to us, then go back to England. No. You do play for one country. Like Declan Rice played for Ireland, Grealish played for Ireland. He then converted to England. Fine. Don't be jumping back and forth. This ain't a trampoline, and this ain't a roller coaster. Make your mind up. I know you're 21, 22. It doesn't matter. You were in England. You see you come in here. You want to go back to England. Then you know what? Go back to England and stay there. I have no empathy for that. None of that. But if somebody's making a switch, one-time switch, or delaying it, I can live with that. I'm not into you saying you're coming, then you come and you play for when you go back. Yeah, tease with an tease business. Chris says, Frankie, Hayden is a very good player. It's a plus for Jamaica. How many midfielders born in Jamaica that play over 100 games at Premier? Yeah, no, I actually think it's a plus to Chris. I definitely think that. My hope is that he gets to play some regular football. I thought he would go on a loan spell or something. Bless the float management, but that has materialized. Come people, 130 and 67 likes. Come people, no, do better, man. Do better. And the number down send people, so I can't call in. Because I have nothing to talk about tonight. Let me finish off the point, which is this. We should try to stop being hypocrites, people. Try to stop being hypocrites. Right? It's not good. The whole diaspora versus local. If in Bana, England, if you get local players' preference. I heard Rudolph saying the other day, I'm going to go talk about the quota system to them. More wait on it. I'm say something, more wait on it. I read what I'm saying. If we can't find it, more wait on it. I'll come back to it. More line up him and the coach on something else simultaneously. Talk about that. So yeah, so I look, if all the players want to come, they can all come. Let the best players play who fit the coaching system. I don't care. If you're local and you have aspiration for the team and the coach says you're not good enough, you're not good enough. I mean, I have enough. I'll beat the coach tonight. I'll beat the coach tonight for different reasons. I'll beat the coach tonight. I know some people not going to like it, but hey, what can I say? Do you think it's possible for Isaac Hayden to take as youngster under his wing? Yeah, I do think so. The question is, which youngster? Do we have CDM? Look, the coach say he likes angling. I was reading something on angling today, which says he didn't play. He played one game in Manning Cup, and then did well when he went to club football. I love those stories. It's like the Pinnock Vardy story. Players who weren't recognized growing up as good footballers or exceptional footballers, and they mature late, and now they're doing well. And if angling is good enough, put him in the team. If he's good enough, put him in the team. Let's not have any argument. Put him in the team. Blake Chevy doesn't want him to get man of the match, but yeah, Blake keeps serving, or you know what? A CDM that can keep the ball and break the press will do wonders for us. A younger Anthony Grant would have been priceless. Anthony Grant didn't really break the press enough. What Anthony Grant did was fall down when people run beside him. He just block them and fall over and get free kick. Well, that's because he had no legs. So, but I think when I saw him younger, at these tapes I saw, I didn't see him play physically. He's a very physical player. You know, the player that take no nonsense, just put it on players. That's him. Bless up Nitro. Anthony Grant is a little bit seasoned. Can't use Grant anymore. But I want to go back to this whole thing about parochialism and diaspora versus local. Each of you in this chat, you got to help change the narrative, people. You got to help to change the narrative. Come on. We got to change the narrative. We're all one. Like it or not, we're all one. I wish the Jamaica government would also take that into consideration in terms of voting. People who are citizens who are looking for a country can vote, encouraging those people to come back, help them create industries. Because you know what? When you have election on only 30%, I heard this said by Judge Panton the other day, or Juris Panton, 30% of the population vote, that means, they're disregarding the government. And that means the two parties are the same. And in one election, I think somebody mentioned to me, 11% vote. Like, really, people? Something is definitely wrong with the system. So we should all try to be the best Jamaican we can be, which means operating as a collective versus separate, distinct parts. Right? And we should stop knocking out against. My phone is. Give me 1 second. I need to fix this phone. I think I messed up. I think I took it off Bluetooth. So give me a second. Nope, I pressed the wrong button too. Give me 1 second. All right, I think you're on. Hello? Good night.
Yes, I'm good night. Thanks for taking my call.
Not a problem. What do you want to say?
Regarding Isaac Hayden joining the team, I think sometimes we make the wrong comparisons. People are comparing Isaac Hayden to other Premier League players. And I think the comparison should be between Isaac Hayden and what exists in Jamaica locally. And ask ourselves, what is better? Isaac Hayden or what we have locally? And then, that would be your answer. And also, there is evidently no set criteria for who can make the team, whether the player is playing first team football, the divisional one, because we saw Whisper was included in the team when Whisper was not playing football at all. So there's no set criteria of, what are required to make the team where, football playing is concerned.
Right. Yeah, look, the coach picked him, right? That was Halgrimsson who picked him. So we can't complain about that. We don't know why he picked him. He may have watched him play high school football. So I'm fine with a coach picking a local player based on his assessment of the player's potential and what they can bring to the team. I think when I heard the coach bring in Whisper or bring in Dixon or bring in Reed, even though I'm not sure how you justify the Reed one, they're basically saying they want the players around the team. They believe they have potential. They believe they can add value over time. So they bring them in. I didn't understand the Reed one because you had enough midfielders. He didn't play well for the under-20. He's playing against local Caribbean competition or local JPL competition. That's not a good barometer and benchmark to assess the player's capability. But it's a coach's prerogative. Even though I'm going to talk about the coach tonight. It ain't going to be pretty. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. And I agree with that. So, it's the coach's prerogative. And so I was, learning more about Isaac Hayden. And I think there have been some misperceptions regarding his situation because, they're saying he's on the bench and whatever. But, Newcastle does not want to sell him. Newcastle does not want to sell him and he wants to go on the open market. And Newcastle does not want to let him go. And that's not being reported. The impression you get is if he's a scrub who nobody wants and he's coming to Jamaica, on the back end of his career, and that may not be entirely accurate.
Right. I don't know what the situation is with him. I know he had a bad knee injury about a year and a half ago. An ACL injury, which is always devastating. So I'm not sure what the situation with him, and I haven't heard him in interviews. I think I saw him. Somebody sent me a clip where he talks about wanting to play for England and waiting, and is confident he can get there. Which we love that confidence. but not sure what his current situation is.
Yes, yes. We must ask ourselves, do we have anything locally better than Hayden? And I think the answer is no. And I think that's how it must be looked at.
I think it's two things you should look at. Here's why I look at it. You're right. The first assessment is looking in your house. What's the comparative? And the coach actually got involved in recruiting Hayden, right? People should realize that. Right? He wasn't the one who initiated. The Hayden recruiting started years ago. And I've seen communication to say years ago, push to get Hayden in. And it wasn't by the JFF, it wasn't by the JFF, by the way. But so you have to look internally first. But also, your comparative has to be, how will this player match up against the team outside the Caribbean, the Costa Rica, the Panama, the US, the Canada? Because those are who they're going to play against, right? How they match up against those players? How they match up with the 10? How you match up against a Reina, for example, for the US, who may play the 10, or whoever plays the 10 for them, right? How would they marshal the midfield, given the forward line you have and the players that you have and your main competitors in the region? Because the standing just came out. We're still in 6th place. We're ahead of Honduras, right? Our competition is, we should look ahead of us, which is the 5 teams ahead of us.
Yes. And based on your assessment, do you think Hayden matches up well with those teams?
We don't know, because we haven't seen Hayden play in a while. That's the problem. The old Hayden, yes. The old Hayden who went from Arsenal to Newcastle after 2 or 3 years at Newcastle. Yes. Good player, very good player. Played at Newcastle well. Shelby was there. There were a few other players who were there. They've improved the team, and they've gotten better, and that's why they made the Champions League the year before. But no, he was a good player then. I don't know where he is now. When you have an ACL injury, sometimes no, but some people don't recover. So I don't know where he is now.
So based on your knowledge of football, is basketball IQ would not be hampered by the injury, right?
His football IQ would be fine. I mean, he's a smart player, right? A smart player. He knows how to cover up gaps. He knows how to close down. Your question is, when you have an ACL injury, what's your mobility? Somebody like Timber was like 2021. He had an ACL. He came back. He took a year from it. Well, it didn't take him a total year, actually. He came back like last May. It took Hayden look like a little bit longer. It's a devastating injury, and the older you are, the more difficult it is for you to recover.
Yes. We have a player, Brandon Cover, that I was looking at. He can play the CDM position, and he's not getting a look in, and
So this is important, people. This is important. You can't give player look in. So it's interesting. I don't know. So the list was provided to McClaren, right? You say a list about 50 players. I don't know who's on that 50 player list, and does that incorporate the splats and the covers of the world? So I'll give you an example, which I don't understand. So when we played the under 20, which did awful in the Concacaf under 20 competition to go to the World Cup, the kid Welsh from Leyton Orient was our best player, but we called Reed twice. No one even mentioned the kid's name.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And you see things like that, and you may I think these players, I don't know if somebody can come up with some type of program where these players are posted openly somewhere where the JFF is shamed into picking these players.
No. People, listen, people. You heard Rudolph say this the other day. He was talking about Hayden and about Mason. And I read in the Gleaner, and I read in the Mag magazine, whatever it is. He basically said he doesn't interfere with the senior team, because he's emphasizing that they do determine who play in the junior team, but he doesn't interfere with the senior team, which is not, I don't know what we'd call about interfere, because Merron Gordon is a JFF employee. He's local. He pick a lot of the players. So I don't know what interfere means, but even when Splat wasn't injured for Root, he still didn't get no game, no call.
I think, they do not like when people bring up certain things, but these people lack vision, because you want to get into these players' good graces when they're very young, and to treat them a particular way when they're young, and expect that we can't have it both ways. We can't have it said, oh, we don't want them when they're young, and we don't want them when they're too old. We have to pick a struggle. We have to pick a fight. When they come when they're young, there's a quota system there, but we don't want them when they're old.
Here's the problem, Carla, which is the quota system is supposedly for the junior team. We have a small quota for the senior team, and so the senior team places for the more mature senior players to me are earned places. And I say Blake is on merit. I know it's going to beat me about this. Damian Lowe is on merit. Nichols is on merit. They're on merit, right? Those players are on merit. I don't think those things should be debatable. And even to me, Cephas is on merit, even though they may not believe so, but I think so. There are some other players who are, when the younger ones, you can question those, right? Because they haven't proven enough at the high enough level, so they should be in the team. That's factual. So it's really interesting when you think about it, which is if you don't pursue the player when they're younger, how are you going to convert them? If you're telling them you have your quota system, you're only going to choose. And by the way, I saw this in the under 17 team we keep promoting. How many players outside of the Americas and the Caribbean are in that team? How many English players, born players, are in that team? Or we just going to pick a bunch of players who play close to Jamaica and Jamaica locally born, and some of them who were born in the US are probably locally born anyway. How does that work?
Cranky, you know what I would love for you to do. I would love for you to see if you can get advice from an attorney if this is legal. Because in my opinion,
yeah.
Let me continue. In my opinion, it is different when, like, say, somebody from Cuba is coming to Jamaica, right? You have a Jamaican with a Jamaican passport. Is it legal to have a quota system against that person? Is it legal?
Well, I don't know about so here's the thing. It's football, and government is supposed to get involved in football. The question is it allowable under FIFA charter or FIFA requirements? Actually, the quota system is contrary to JFF rules. To their own constitution is contrary.
Hold on, regarding
discrimination. So JFF rules basically stipulate you can't discriminate. They don't allow discrimination based on nationality, based on birth, based on anything. No discrimination, which parallels or similar to the Jamaica Constitution. And I did show a while back, pull out sections of the Constitution for Jamaica and the Constitution for the JFF to show that in both cases, it is contrary to those requirements for you to have a quota system.
Yes, somebody need to look into, because the JFF, operates in Jamaica. The JFF is not independent of Jamaican rules and laws.
Yeah, but you can't. But there's a clear demarcation and barrier between the government of a country and the operation of the footballing body. If you look at what happened in Brazil, where the courts try to change the election, and FIFA said we're going to ban you, and they quickly change back. You got to go through FIFA, and FIFA is corrupt anyway. But you got to go through FIFA.
Again,
so you're not catch-22. There's no good outcome.
Again, it needs to be looked at, because what I mean. It is so short-sighted. What the JFF or the JFF operates, you want to utilize all your advantages.
Yep.
And if you have an advantage and you don't use it, then many countries would love to have this problem.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking my call.
All right, thanks for calling.
All right, bye.
So here's another point, people. A friend of mine was telling me this week that England, let me say this, England has, I haven't checked this out myself, but they were telling me, has 5 overseas born players in their team. Obviously, they're British citizens in the under 17 team. That's at the World Cup. So I got to go check that out. They're saying there were, I think, 3 from Portugal and 2 from the US when our British citizens were playing for England. So I found that interesting. And this is their junior team people. So I guess they may not be having that same quota system that we do. Now, I'm going to come back to this. But let me play this. I thought it was interesting. I heard Gary Neville. So in England, as many of you know, because you guys follow EPL football, in England, Gareth Southgate resigned, and they had Lee Carsley, who, by the way, I'm so glad he's going back to the under 21 for Jamaica's sake, because he was capping everybody and their mom to make sure they can't play for nobody else, like he did with Gibbs White and some of the and Goldman's and all these other kids, right? But Carsley is not going to be the coach. Obviously, it's going to be a non-Englishman in a non-Englishman in the old Chelsea and Bayern coach in Tuchel. I'm always messing his name up. And they're losing their minds in England. If you listen to Talk Sports, if you listen to Harry Redknapp, if you listen to the cheat boss, Sam Allardyce, who got kicked out of the England position because they created this fake Arab person and he was doing things under the table. But Allardyce has always been asked for his opinion. I don't know why. He's lack integrity. But they're losing their minds about not having an English coach. Now, this is Gary Neville speak, and then I'll come back to this, because I think this is important. It's very interesting, actually.
What I have seen in this last 15, 20 years is the reputational damage that English coaching has taken. We are in a rut when it comes to English coaching. English coaching is one of the least respected big nations in Europe when it comes to taking charge of a football team. Spanish, German, Italian coaches, Portuguese coaches are renowned for their styles of play, for their philosophy. We don't have a clear identity as an English nation of what we are anymore. We haven't built a style.
Wait, you guys can't hear? Wait, hold up. You can't hear? Let me stop this.
And we've seen coaches from all around Europe.
Are you saying you can't hear? Tell me if you can hear or not. I thought I can hear, but I'm not sure why you're not hearing it. Upload it. Can you guys hear? Just let me know yes or no if you can hear me. If you can hear it's a little bit low. Bless up Ted Exter. It's a little bit low. It's low. Yeah, I can't get any louder for some reason. I turned up both in the video itself. Let me go back. I turned up both in the video itself. I'm gonna go back and my mic, but it's not getting louder. Let me just turn everything up. I don't know why it's so low. My mic is getting louder actually. Let me turn this down. I'm trying to turn this all the way up and see if I can get it to play.
What I have seen
it's low.
In the last 15, 20 years is the reputational damage that English coaching has taken. We are in a
turn your device up.
When it comes to English coaching is one of the least respected big nations in Europe when it comes to taking charge of a football team. Spanish, German, Italian coaches, Portuguese coaches are renowned for their styles of play, for their philosophy. We don't have a clear identity as an English nation of what we are anymore. We haven't built a style. We haven't got a coach who's built a style that's unique to us. And we've seen coaches from all around Europe come in and input their styles into our game, and we've copied their styles, and we're trying to copy what they do without really developing our own style. And I think, to me, at this moment in time, my view is that we need to build an identity as an English sort of country in terms of what our style of play is, and let English coaches flourish. And St. George's Park was set up to do that. The English philosophy of that time was to build English coaches and to try and get English coaches as high as possible in the world. And Gareth Southgate, I think, has done a great job. But we've chosen to go down a different route. And I think there are some difficult questions for the FA to answer.
So that was Gary Neville, and there's been a lot of debate in England. Like, people are losing their mind, people. The coach should be English. So if every country just hire coaches, at least their national coach from their country, you'll be having a cross-pollination of ideas, of perspective, of strategy, of style of play, right? So the question for you is, do you believe that your coach for your national team should be from your country? Or should you source the best talent to allow you to maximize your ability to succeed? All right? We should. Devan say can't hear. Devan say, even though if I get more seasoned, you can't hear well. So that's interesting, people. Which is, should you have? Look, I do believe there's some credence to the whole idea of having a coach who is locally bred and born, but they have to be qualified. And so the only way to fix that sort of idea is to clean house, but then buy out the election process. Yeah. No, but the thing is that here's what was wrong about the whole thing. Gary Neville, I heard Neville, I heard Carragher, The only person, one of the person I hear was, the funny thing is these people, it was by demographics. So the older English gentleman, apart from say Simon Jordan, who is not a ex-football player or manager, Simon Jordan was happy with Tuchel coming in, but Jack Wilshere was happy with Tuchel coming in, right? There are a lot of players who played for him and or players who are younger who are happy with him coming in. But the older, the Allardyce and some of these other individuals like Harry Redknapp, they were mentioning Frank Lampard and Gerrard. And I was flabbergasted, people, when I heard them doing this. And I thought back about Jamaica. Because I heard talking about Alan Skillcole and Stewart from Aberview. Dinosaurs who don't realize that you may not have the talent around you. You think you do, but you don't. And that's why the FA went on and found this talent, because they couldn't find anybody else. They took Southgate from the under the junior team, under 19, under 21 team to run England, because he knew the players and he did a very good job, I think, even though maybe they'd be too conservative. They brought Lee Carsley in. He's not an Englishman. That came up another time about the national anthem. But you can't have it both ways, people. You can't say one of the best. And what's something you mentioned that I thought was important, which we have to think about. What's our system of play and style of play? We used to talk about this a lot, and we went away from it. What's your system and style of play, people? And if we have a coach, shouldn't we be now doing something about instituting that from the grassroots level? We're now going to have everybody have a F license and a D license and an E license. I mean, if you don't have AMBN Pro, you don't really worry about it. But anyway. So should we start developing that style of play and system of play from the grassroots level to bring it up, because we don't have one? When Halgrimsson came here, he wanted to play kick and run football. Let's see how far we can kick it down the field, and we have all these thoroughbreds, let them run it down. Now this new coach come in, he wants to keep the ball. And we can't pass the ball. We can't pass the first line of defense with the ball, because we haven't taught our players how to do that. Now people are going to say, well, a lot of them grew up in England. That's true. Gary Neville is saying they don't have a system or style of play either. They have good footballers. But Spain has it. Germany is effecting it. Portugal has it. So, it's really interesting how that works, people. Really interesting. Really, really interesting. But let me go to the coach. Let me keep going with the coach, because this is important. So now I'm going to get beaten. But beaten sometime in life is good. I'm going to get beaten now, people. I'm going to get beaten. Because I know someone will stay. Don't get beaten. But sometime in life, you have to take your beating, because it's probably well-deserved. Right? It's probably well-deserved. And I'm going to earn my beating tonight. So here's my question to you. And I've said this the other day. I said it like 2 or 3 times to show. May I bring it up again? What me say? May I bring it up again? So first of all, we're trying to play position football, and we're not really good at it. Because we look good the other against Cuba. We look good against Honduras, but they let us play football. We didn't command it. They gave it to us. Now, here's the question I have for you people. And I said this a number of times. Please tell me, when McClaren the Malta license. Where's the Malta license thing? We have talked about Malta license. Can't get all the guys from England don't come back. Jamaica, they're not welcome there. Yeah, it's sad actually. It's sad. They're gonna come back. I'm gonna put some of these comments up, and then I go to what I want to talk about. So the English way is best, even though they have never won a World Cup. Yeah, English are like that actually. I'd agree with that, even though I was born there. Wow. So we're all toxic, DJ Johnson. That's not good. We're just like English media. Think we're toxic. Go English media. There's no other people on earth more toxic than English media. Every time a coach come talk about England, he talk about the press. The press is just trying to find a way to destroy players and coaches. So a lot of players don't talk to the coach. But let me just say this about McClaren. A couple of things about McClaren. I had something here I want to show. You know what? Let me try to find it. This is important, people. Because I don't think I make up stuff. But I don't make up things, And I don't know what I did with it. Oh, here it is. I think this is important, people. Because I think sometimes, I come on these channels and say some things, and people are like, yeah, we goes cranky again, starting something. So let me say this, people. I mean, a lot of talks. Some nutcase. I hear you. I hear you, Nitro. So, is this people? So, I've said this, which is, you hear me ask the question, people. May I ask the question again? Every time the coach come, him start talk about, I don't know the players. Right? I don't know the players. Interesting. You don't know the players. When you gonna know the players, coach? Coach, when you gonna know the players? Be curious. You don't know them, and I have no idea when you're gonna know them. None. I'm setting the wrong thing. Let me take this up and come back in. That's something here. I'm not sure why it's not showing up. I need to understand, coach, we're gonna know the players. So I'm gonna read something here. I was trying to show it on the screen, but I'm gonna read it. This is Pochettino, as you notice, got the US job. It says, US soccer CEO JT Batson on first meeting with Pochettino, with Mario Pochettino. We showed up with a bottle of wine. It was a beautiful California cab. We wanted to go authentically American in that. In that meeting, we walked them through a detailed presentation about where we stand and where the opportunities and challenges are. I know people end the sentences are. I don't like verb ending sentences, but that's just me. It says, right when we finished, they brought out their own laptop. Right when we finished, they brought out their own laptop and walked us through their research and analytics about our player pool. We thought, whoa, okay, this wasn't a social visit. Let me say this again. Right when we finished, they brought out their own laptop. This is the Pochettino team, and walk us through their research and analytics about our player pool. People, the man said research and analytics about the player pool. The man don't say, Halgrimsson, give me some players, and JF, give me a bunch of players. Because when you go for an interview, people, you are prepared. If I go for an interview for a job, what the job is, I'm learning everything about the company. I want everything about the company's CEO, about their products, about their marketing strategy, about locationally. I want to learn everything about the company. So I'm as informed as possible in that interview. How you get a job if you don't know the players? How you get a job if you don't have a system of play and style of play? I don't understand. Now, somebody's going to say, Cranky, you just start to put them together, just start up things in them. But the point I'm trying to make is this. I don't want the coach come tell me 2 months in about he don't know the players. He should have known it before he came to this job. And he's been in the job for 2 months. Here's my question for the 100th time. What does he do when he's not in Jamaica? And by the way, he doesn't live in Jamaica. He lives in England. So what is he doing now? So I'm going back to England. What am I doing? In the Ibiza? In Ghana, Morocco? In the Barcelona, Spain, on the beach? What is he doing? He ain't doing no work. He ain't helping out the team in Jamaica. He ain't looking at players in the JPL. He ain't giving no coaching clinics. What am I doing? What is he doing? That means he's working international window. You talk about, well, I have to travel. Where I travel go? You travel in JFF business? What business you doing? I don't hear you say you call any players. I don't see you meeting any players. I don't hear you go to any game watching any players. What are you doing? So the TikToks and the football gurus and the Rudolph Speedrunners can say, yeah, they go again, toxic YouTubers. You tell me, all of you guys, what does he do when he leaves Jamaica? It's not okay with me. It's not okay. Earn your paycheck. You get from my estimation, you get about $500,000 a year, earn your paycheck. It is unconscionable for a coach to come this window, the last window, this window, and then come back November and come back to when? Middle of next year sometime when you have another window? Why am I doing it at the time? And him coach about 2 days and fly on plane and go, what are we doing? I said, what was in the contract with the JFF? I don't know what's wrong with my computer now, people. It's messing up. I don't know what is my contract. What is he doing? I don't know what he's doing. I find it strange. I'm telling you. Strange. I thought he'd be in Jamaica giving clinics, helping the JFF strategically about where they're trying to go. Think about giving ideas about grassroots football. I know his job is to qualify for the World Cup. So he only has to be in the national window and coach for a few days and go back home. What a life. Hey, people, want to show us something? Appear controversy. Me get beaten tonight. Peer controversy, me I start. Why can't I find this? Oh, here it is. So I did this. I may be wrong on this, so don't hold me to it. So I made a little graph. People, I spend time on anything, you know. I mean, like, it's trouble. Like, I spent a graph thinking about this. I spent a time thinking about this. So Theodore Whitmore, to me, and this is an estimate, people. It could be wrong, but it ain't totally wrong. I figure out Theodore make about 116,000 US a year, and I may be doubling his salary. I'm gonna say this is the maximum amount that he can make, right? Halgrimsson making about $500,000. Schaefer made about $500,000, probably more. And this coach, I think, making $500,000. You know what's similar here, people? What's similar? What do you, and by the way, look at the achievements. Theodore made a couple semifinals of World Cup, Gold Cup, and then played some World Cup qualifiers, win some few games. But I think he had a 48% win record, meaning between draws, losses, and win. If you take out the draws, he probably is over 60%, right? Halgrimsson made Copa, undefeated World Cup qualifiers, made semifinal Nations League, lost every game at Copa, by the way. Schaefer made World Cup final, but lost most of World Cup qualifying games. And then McClaren is undefeated in 4 games, right? You see the compensation estimate, the people? What's similar here? So me not believe in them nonsense, people. And I don't think Theodore made this much. So I'm giving Theodore the highest end of the range I think he could possibly make. This is not right. This can't be right. And I'm not going to hear when Theodore wanted his money, we didn't have any money. You ain't had no money when Halgrimsson come in. You have looked at the money when Halgrimsson come in. You didn't lose money when Schaefer did it. I only know you have money for playing McClaren. So people, how can this be okay? How can these numbers be okay? I spend time researching this, thinking of people, just still on that talk, but I think one of them and say, you know what? And then people got beat me and say, boy, cranky, you like the foreign thing. No, I like fairness. I like fairness. This is not fair. This is not fair, people. This is not fair. And I'll tell me about what the coaches have achieved, because some of them coaches don't achieve nothing. They don't win nothing. Forgot to tell me what they achieve. Look at these people. Look at these compensation differences. Now, the numbers, it may change for the 3 coaches, but they ain't far off in terms of the bandwidth. Is it in between? Somebody said, I read something, McClaren make 350, maybe take off 150 kind of did it on the job. Money I work part-time, so they may make 350. But even 350, look what Theodore make. I don't think Theodore was making this much. I think Theodore wanted this much. I think Theodore was making like 60K. But we just go to the highest range possible. Because one time you want about 10 US a month, somewhere around there. Yeah, we never had money with Schaefer. So the point I'm trying to make, people, is we ain't treating those who are like us fairly. That can't be okay. Cannot be okay. And their records aren't materially different to say, you know what, XYZ. I understand the concept of money, and we're not aware of Trinidad and no money, so them can't pay them people them. But you know, if me a Jamaican coach and negotiate with JFF, hey, me ask that question. I'm gonna get myself in trouble, you know. I wonder what Merron Gordon make. Hey, Merron, how much you make, Merron? I bet Merron make more than 5G a month. And I'm Merron, I coach a team. I fight anyway. Merron have big input. If he's not coach a team, I have big input in the team. He might pick the player them. That coach no nobody. Except the man who moved to England. Well, some of them you haven't watched play lately. People may not understand anything. Yeah. You're right. No, but if you're local, here's what we're missing, people. If you are local and you're making 100K a year in Jamaica, it's decent money. It's more than the Prime Minister make. It's more than anybody in Parliament, I think, like Jamaica. What Brogard make now? About almost close to 70,000. Because you take the triple wages. If you take the triple wages, you make about 180, 170 probably. I'm not going to call it the race thing, but I'm just thinking about they're not paying themselves. I ain't going to make it a race. They're not paying themselves. Look for the people who are paying them. JFF don't look to. Don't look to the coach them. They're going to take what them get. And they're going to negotiate what them want. Look to the people who are paying them. And the people who are paying them should ask themselves the question, why is it like this? And Theodore was there a long time, people. 2 stints, long time. Theodore supposed to get rich out of this, because people man get rich out of this. $500,000 a year. Theodore did about what? Well, about 13 years in total, Theodore did between different stints. Long time in the day. And Theodore put out with all the nonsense, tough time. So Theodore should have, if you're doing a contract with them people, Theodore, you have to sign in some contingency plan. That you from the Mets do. 40 years later, them still appear you. They left too much money on the table. No, but the fact of the matter is, people, is that I just don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. And I spend some time looking at this, thinking about these things. You know, you want to say we're cranky, I'm not for doing. Think about them something. Yeah, but it's important to realize that we need to treat each other fairly. You hear me keep preaching about that to people. Preaching. I mean, ask the question again. What does the coach do, or what does he do when he's not in Jamaica? No matter about qualification, Owen. What qualification? Qualification, I make you give you results. If you sign him to the job, that means he's qualified. You don't get paid just based on your qualification. If I'm doing this, he's doing the same job that the three other coaches did, Owen. So how you justify that? It's like me go play a midfield. So me I read I play a midfield. I'm going to play a CDM. I'm judged based on how a CDM is judged. I'm not judged saying, oh, no, Reed young, and we give him because him young, so therefore you expect none from him. No, you're playing CDM, you expect to produce like a CDM should produce. If you're a coach, you gave me the job. So you think I was qualified? You think I was qualified, you gave me the job. Don't give me the job then. Why you hire him then if he wasn't qualified? Why you hire him if he's not qualified? It don't make no sense, people. It don't make no sense. If he didn't have the supposedly accreditation that he should have, then you know what? He should go get them. But it can be I'm getting 5 times less, and it's more than that. I told you, I overestimate Tapa's salary. It's probably about 8-9 times the number to do the same job. That's what your woman complain about. They're doing the same job as men and they get 30% less, 20% less. This is not 20%, 30% less. This is robbery. And they know that the person may not have opportunities to make more than what they're making, so then take advantage of them. Not fair. Unfair, not appropriate, not cool. That's my view on that. So, was I the biggest Tapa fan as a coach? No, not really. I thought he made certain decisions which I didn't like. But then that's with every coach, frankly. This one making decision I don't like either. So, people say it's Tapa's fault. No, people, it's facts and circumstances. Don't say it's Tapa's fault. Don't say it's Tapa's fault. You have to deal with the devil, the hand you're dealt. They'll say they didn't have any money. When Tapa was asking for the $19,000 a month, instead of not money. And then pay Schaefer, and then pay Schaefer and tell him to court. And then they can pay Halgrimsson and pay McClaren. So here's the negotiation, people. If you're a Tapa next time, you get in a situation. Hey, Tapa, we sign the contract, say, you know what, we don't have money now, but want some clause in the contract. We say, you know what, when we get money, we get paid. So, for example, I'm not taking $100,000 a year. I want $300,000 a year. Next time it's $300,000. Even that's still half of the money, or 40% less. When you get money, you pay me the rest of the money. Pay me the XYZ now, but you pay me the rest of the money. Long-term planning. Before the game say, in this region, there are no coaches association. If one coach don't take the small salary, and I will do so. They think. I know before the game, I agree with that. But that's the point I'm making, right? Which is they taking advantage of the player, of the coach. But they want to play somebody who already have money, who don't need the money, a ton of money, to sometimes do a worse job. Which doesn't make no sense to me. It doesn't make no sense to me, people. It's like an inferiority complex. You hear me say I wanted a Spanish coach, right? If this coach, let me tell you something, a waste of time if I just coach a team. I tell you this right now. A waste of time if I come coach a team in the window alone. Waste of time. If you get paid based on per diem, then a per diem, if you never get no salary and on contract. Man, I get paid. I'm gonna come few windows and go enjoy vacation. Why am I telling you? It burned me. I'm saying Jamaica, it burned me as a shame. Time. Please hit the like button and please subscribe, people. Hit the like button and subscribe. Trying to drive up my traffic. You know that go? Might drop the subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. The Cranky Live. You want to subscribe to Balance View? Subscribe to Balance View too. Even though I think what's happening is giving you the Cranky Live connection for both channels. It's not for both channels. Balance View has its own channel. So I have to figure that one out. And make sure I drop them separately. But point I'm making, people, is that enough fear. I've been thinking about these things and I say, you know what? I'm not talk about them. Because they're not fear. Ever treat each other better. We can't treat each other so star. Lone Wolf says the bigger question is, The big question is, what are the terms of the contract? We don't know. Speed said in one, coach will leave at Jamaica, and next coach will leave it. Yeah, I heard Speed say that. So American you saying, but Cranky Prime Pochettino will be based in Europe as well. I think Pochettino says that Pochettino talk both sides of his mouth actually, but I think he'll be here also. And the question is, what are America's needs? Their needs are different from ours, but he's basically saying a lot of his players are going to be based in Europe, which they are. The Pulisic, the Musas, the Balogun, so he's going to go over there. McClaren's players a lot of based in Europe, but is he going to games? I ain't even saying go no game, go watch no player. That's the point I'm making. I don't hear him saying go Antonio game, or him go Nicholson game when Nicholson not play when in the France and in the Russia, or him go watch Campbell play. I don't hear him say none of that. I don't hear him say nothing. I mean, him call a couple players, call Hutchison, him call the other kid, Kadamari, whatever it is, and then say they know I come, and that's it. Now you're nothing else. I even talk to a couple of players, talk to Hayden and a few more people. So they make 2 phone calls in one day and then take the rest of the time off. Sorry, not having it. And we need him in Jamaica to help with the local football. We do. If you don't think we do, we don't. And him saying work with Speed on this old talent development program. Why is he there helping them to execute? Why is he there helping them? I don't understand that. Why is he there helping them to execute? That doesn't make sense to me, people. Doesn't make sense to me. But I'm going to finish the stream 9 o'clock, people. So we have 30 minutes left. And please hit the like button before you go. So let me just say this, which is, I didn't really come to beat the coach, but I came to beat the coach. Because he needs to change. We're not having it. We're not having you doing a part-time job. Do a full-time job. Nobody wants it. And if things are critical and we're toxic, then I can live with that. But if I see something that I don't like, I'm going to call it out. Now, back to Rudolph's speed quota system. Rudolph, I'm not forget about it. I mean, I bring it up all the time, Rudolph. It's a bit toxic. That's okay. Rudolph, almost like you can see him push out him chest when him said to the magazine about they don't interfere with the senior team, which means he interfere with the junior team, all the junior team them. And somebody just said in the chat that they asked the question today. Somebody asked from Hits FM about why there are more local players in the Jamaica women's football team. They don't have a quota for that, by the way. Our quota is probably a small one. They don't have a quota. You know why they don't have a quota? I don't have enough players and they're not good enough. What the Jamaica team get when they go play some ball the other day? What them get? About 13, whatever the number is? They don't have the players there. So they can't afford to have a quota there. Or to restrict, I'm going to call it restrict trade. They have to go source players from overseas. And we have a lot of players overseas with Jamaican nationality. Some are locally born, playing overseas, and others are overseas born. Most of them, actually. I hear the coach name on some players today. Quality players, 20-year-olds, play at Chelsea, playing at Burnley, for example. 20-year-olds, them are crafting. Why the men's team can't do that and crafting 20-year-old and 21-year-old? Have them play for the under 20 and then bring them in the national team. Why them can't do that? Because them born overseas. Yeah, no, Speed was beating his chest so the coach have to live in Jamaica. He said that multiple times. And then his coach tell him, say, no, live in Jamaica now. I stay with my wife and my yard. I can't do what I want to do. It's a retirement gig, so no one else say. Crazy. No, Pochettino, no, that's not true, Chris. He said that MLS players who are playing football have an opportunity to be in the squad, just like the players overseas. I say some players overseas are not getting game time. You go check that, Chris. He said that players in MLS have chance, so he's going to be here watching them. I bet you. Let's check on that. No, John, Rudolph didn't tell the truth about John Wall's situation. He said John Wall had conflicting responsibilities. As if he hit him in the head, he wouldn't have an idea what conflict is. Coming responsibility in that he had duties with the national team and he couldn't coach under 20. Because John Wall says the local players are not where they need to be. I have a bunch of players from overseas that some people have gotten for me. I'm going to use those players. And Rudolph says, of my dead body, I have players to sell. So that's not happening. Canada coaches in Europe. Who coached Canada, Chris? What's his name, the American coach Canada? He was in England at Leeds. Don't mistake the overseas thing when them living because them overseas now. Them are travel enough. And them are there this region enough. Trust me. You go check Chris. You go check. They're going to be here in the States and in Canada. What's his name, the coach, the American coach, because he didn't get the American job and him like to beat them up. A lot of Canadian players overseas, in Europe, France, Germany, all over. But no, they spend a lot of time in the region. The coach is only here during games and even gone as the game them done. Poch is going to be back and forth. A lot of players in England. He talked about the MLS players having an opportunity because the other players who play in Europe may not be getting game time. I saw that for myself the other day. At least I was shown it. So yeah. I don't understand people, but I mean, I'm sure the JFF knows all things for everyone, so they must know what they're doing. It just doesn't sit with me the right way, actually. It doesn't. Doesn't sit with me the right way. But at the end of the day, my hope is that this coach can qualify us for the World Cup. It must be a good to take people to World Cup when you work part-time, you know. What a life. Why couldn't I have had a part-time job? I don't know what I was doing in my life, you know. I'm getting paid like, how much money I get paid? Now, I'm not going to say it's a ton of money for a national coach. I think Tuchel's making between 6 and 8 million. I didn't get the right number. Damn, 6 and 8 million pounds to coach a national team. And these Tuchel going to be living in England. He ain't going to live in Germany, that's for sure. If you say he live in Germany, he live in Germany. They're England all the time. I mean, he did live in England when he coached Chelsea, but I'm sure he's going to be back in England, around the Chelsea area, going to watch players all the Premier League games. I have no problem. This coach was saying, you know what? I'm spending a lot. I'm taking that. The fact that he says he still don't know the players, I'm not buying that. I don't care if he just came 2 months ago. I don't know the players. So Merron said McGee is good. Merron said Gray is good. Merron said. What do you say? Merron, me I hear. No, you know, Merron star. Want to hear what you're saying. You should have gotten the list of players already before you came on the job. You should have studied that list. If he watches, I was doing some calculation today. If he watches 4-hour tape, let's say not go game, 4 hours of tape a day, right? Same though, 2 players a day. It's 100 players. It's 50 days, that, you know. So in 2 windows, cover it. 2 windows and cover all the player them. There's 100 players me I talk about. I'm not even getting team about 50 players. So you can cover it in window and a half. Cranky, you don't need a coach money. We know you're a veteran. No, everybody need money. Stop that BM. Stop saying anything to BM. Stop that BM. Me and Rich Moon there, we do all the time. See, I try to survive. I'm not. I'm retired. No, I'm not retired. I'm working. Hey, let me tell some people. I'm not gonna believe this, you know. I think I work harder doing this YouTube thing than I did on my last job. Now, I was winding down a little bit, to be honest. But I think I work harder on this job than I did on my last job. And in my last job, my boss was giving me work. Like how people boss. My supervisor was giving me work. Like big job for do, like 2 weeks before. And the day before me leave them, I asked me to reach to do some things. Mr. Star, no, so me I leave tomorrow. I better go do that thing on myself. Me done. Bless up, Sir Mike. Thanks for joining. Hey, Sir Mike, you sell the Benz yet? Hey, people, Sir Mike, have a Benz I sell now. Why you Benz, Sir Mike? Drop in the chat, Mike. I have enough New York on the line now. No, work. Enough work. Trust me. Hey, let me tell you something, because nobody this, you know. To put together all of these things, if you want to put together stats and all the things there, you've got to find stats and research and cut and paste. You've got to find videos and nah, man, I work. But now, so me hate the work, you know. But I work enough work. Enough work. Chris said most of the England players in England are going to be there. Hey, Chris, I haven't ever heard him say. Here's the thing, Chris. First of all, him supposedly know all them players already, right, Chris? Not mean you can't go watch them, you know. He supposedly know all of them already. Don't you need to spend some time in Jamaica again to know the local players to see any of them can be in his team? Like in talk about him see angling for about one game and say him like angling, bringing 9 team. Up here, one game thing I talk about, you know. Or I'm here, so I'm around telling me to put 9 team. No, do you want research? You get paid. Do the work. Sorry, do the work. Oh, you sold it. Okay. What year was it, Sir Mike? What year was it? Did it work? So Mike said, Chris, that's not exactly right. US cares about their team that plays in the Gold Cup that made up. Yeah, no, I think what the US does is use some of these competitions to blood in some of their younger players, some of the other players who may not make the first team when all the players are there. Right? So they can pick, people like the Pepe who then overseas eventually come through those ranks. Sir Mike, can you open that? Sir Mike says, you get 16,000 for 2013. How much miles on it? It must have low mileage. And you live out on the island, so that can't be low miles. How much miles on this? I don't drive Mercedes anyway. I'm not a big Mercedes fan. But it's a well-known brand. When I was in Jamaica growing up, that was a brand actually for people who had resources. A lot of resources, not just some resources, a lot of resources. 2013, that's a decent price for 2013, actually. That's a decent price for 2013. Seriously. Yeah, Andre, that could be the Andre. I don't know what it is, but I'm not sure why you would write a contract. Here's my problem with Andre. He continually said, first of all, he says he knew the players in Jamaica when he first come. Because he worked with Speedman or something. And they didn't say no, nobody. So that's confusing to me. And second, if he's an expert, a FIFA assigned expert to help Jamaica in constructing its youth development program, wouldn't he be there to help them execute against it and get it effected and implemented and put in place? Why wouldn't he? I don't understand. Oh, 62 miles, a small number of miles. It hasn't been driven yet. So, Sir Mike, you don't really drive, Sir Mike. You don't really drive. BM said, I think the next Gold Cup, we should see the strongest teams for the USA, Mexico, and Canada. Remember, those teams don't have qualified. Yeah, you're right. And they'll be practicing for the forthcoming year, right? So, yeah, we'll see that. That'll be interesting. I think Canada always have their best team. The US is the one that will split the teams between like Copa and Gold Cup, for example. But yeah, next year, you will see everybody's trying to set them up for 2026, Hopefully we make the World Cup, actually. Yeah. So the payer should be blamed, not the payee. Yeah, that's true. No, I'm not blaming the payee at all. I'm not blaming the payee at all. You're right about the payer should be blamed. Payer's the one putting the money out, making the hiring. So yeah. So Eagle says, Crank, I think most of the national coaches are underpaid. There are only 2011 FIFA head coaching jobs on the planet. They have a great effect on that. Yeah, no, I agree. What are you guys' thoughts on, should the national coach be a locally, a citizen of that country? Let me not say locally born coach. I heard Arteta say he wants to be coach of England. He would take the job because he's been in England over 20 years, which then becomes almost like he's English, frankly. So do you believe that the coach should be not necessarily locally born, but a citizen of that country? No, I didn't watch the game, but I heard Suriname has been playing well. Because Suriname have a foreign team, so as usual, probably play with all Dutch players. Before the game says, Cranky Live, go back to the unveiling and the chairman of the technical draw line. Yeah. Yes, exactly. No, somehow they change as they go along. The man probably tell them, I'm not stay at Jamaica, can't live here. And then say, okay, do what you want to do. Just get us to the World Cup. That's all. Yeah. But I heard he gets to pick his team, except he doesn't know his team. So I'm not sure I heard he picks his team of his own volition. I was told that he picks his own team, but he doesn't know his team. So he has to leverage Merron to help pick the team or to figure out what players to bring into the team. So he may pick the 11 from what he has and Merron's suggestion. And I'm not saying an assistant coach shouldn't be a confidant of the head coach. They should be intertwined, right? They should connect at the hip. But you got to know your players yourself. So when you get challenged or when you're challenging somebody, you know what you're talking about. You can sometimes you watch a couple of YouTube video and then say, oh, I like this player. And I was saying, every player him like. Even not see no player him not like. I like this player. I like this. I like Reed. I like Anglin. I like Cephas. I like Campbell. I like everybody. He didn't tell us which player he watched and he didn't like. But he tells everybody like. So don't know. But my hope is that The objective is to get to the World Cup. Maybe the JFF has contingency plan to say if we don't get there, they have somebody, and if we do get there, subsequent to the World Cup, they have someone else. They need to think about a coach, though. I've said this before. I would love to have a Spanish coach, but other than a Spanish coach, we should have a local coach. Get somebody local, train them from now, get them up to speed. So when time comes, you can bring them into the seat. You have 2 years. Screw Merron. Merron get all his badges. Maybe him coach the other 21 them. Do like what England do. But where's the system and style of play, JFF? Don't tell me no kick and run football. Because I'm hearing people that talk about how we're big and we're strong and we're quick. Schaefer's quick, the rest of them not really quick. I know which quick people do not talk about, like we quick anybody else. We don't see nobody run past the Andy run them except for Schaefer's. How much people tell me run past the Andy run them the other night? How much time run past the Nicaragua on them? How much time run past the Cuba on them? You see nobody run past anybody in them game there? Like we're athlete, like we're just athlete. Like the ball in around. Yeah, I heard about Miguel Coley, but I think he's coaching a reserve team, isn't he? So he's not getting an international exposure. No, Speed said that. Speed said that subsequently. That's not what he said before. What Speed said initially, that coach has to live in Jamaica. That's what he said initially. All right? The emphasis was always on making the World Cup. We agree with that. But the coach has to live in Jamaica. So if you live in Jamaica, in Canada, twiddling thumb, I go help do something. So, don't know. All right, people, I come to the end of the time, you know. I don't want to stay too long. I don't want to overstay my welcome. Plus, my Knicks up here tonight. I want to see them do against Washington, even though a preseason. By the way, people, I'm doing a watch-along Tuesday night for the Knicks game against Boston. I think we'll be ready for them, you know. Them win last year, but we're ready. But team looks strong this year. Bench kind of weak, but team looks strong. Team looks strong. And I have no idea why my computer keeps jumping around here. You guys can't see it, but it's really weird. I think I'm going to shut it down when I'm done with this, and hopefully it comes back to normal. But yeah, people, I appreciate you being here. It's Friday night. It wasn't necessarily a planned event. I was supposed to be here from Monday to Thursday. I didn't do any show on Wednesday or Thursday. Let me say this. If you haven't subscribed to my channel and you haven't hit the like button, please do so. I also have another channel called Balanced Views, which I'm going to start up again in the next couple of weeks, doing much more social matters. You know, Jamaica Hot nowadays, you know, between Integrity Commission and a bunch of stuff I go on, Jamaica Hot. So I'm going to start doing some Jamaica things, plus some US things, plus some other things out there which I want to talk about, right? But having said that, I appreciate you being here, people. Thanks for joining. I was going to talk about, you know, let's finish this up quickly. I'll do it another day. The US versus Jamaica matchup. I should show this because anytime Jamaican, let me say no stay. Anytime uno a pick winner, Jamaica play nobody, it never fails. Jamaica will win. So I want to show this. I want to show this because it's important. I know most of you don't know this, but I still want to show it anyway. I know most of you know this. I don't know why this thing isn't showing up. But I'm still going to show it anyway. Let me pull this up. No, let me take this off. That's not it. Let me pull this up, people, because I think I want to show this. So this is the U.S. soccer team record against Jamaica. Right? Over the last... So you see the record, people? See the numbers up here, sir? Look at the number here. So the number say, the US won 20, we draw 10, and they lost 3 games to us. And if you look at the list, we haven't beaten them in the last 7 games. We beat us 2019, we beat them 1-0. They have won 5 and drawn 2. Now we could have beaten them the last time. And Blake Head getting out of the way. But it's not pretty. It's not pretty. So we're going to need all the Haydens of the world. That's going to be my point to help us try to get over the hump. We need people who can take because when we play the US, them dominate possession. And it's not like the other day because when we play US, by the way, we're going to get chances. We're going to get chances, people. They like to play football. They got to come at us. They're going to press us. We need midfielders who are composed under pressure and can move the ball up the field. We need to give the Baileys and the Grays and the Antonias and others opportunities to get a chance to score and goal. And the Dixons and the Cephas's of the world. So at the end of the day, we need midfielders like Baker and Hayden and Isaac Hayden and all them come help us, even though they may not be playing at the highest level. And we also need Ravel. Hey, Ravel, whatever you do, my youth, we need you big time. We need you. Get yourself up to speed quickly in the UAE, playing. If you're in a 5th division, you better know what we have. And even if the Maggies of the world can come on, it's a tougher game for the Maggies of the world, actually. Yeah, Antonio, he got there he missed the game in Jamaica. Not play well at Jamaica anyway. He'll miss the game in Jamaica because he got that deliberate handball. But Lowe should be back. And he should be able to play the second game in the US on the 18th. And to carry him all the way to St. Louis, not the bush, not the coal. They wouldn't come on East Coast. They wouldn't come on East Coast. But I hope that he calls Ravel. I hope because if we have a midfield of Hayden, Ravel, and somebody else, whoever that is, whether it's Palm or whatever, it's a better midfield than we have now. Latty's not a midfielder. Latty's a good player now. And Latty's stats in the last game were exemplary. I think Latty turned over the ball about 5 times in 60-something touches. Latty had a good game. He just didn't appear that way because he's not creative on the ball. He doesn't do anything with the ball. He doesn't get out of trouble. He doesn't create space. He doesn't move the ball between the lines. He just plays simple. Sometimes simple is effective, but he just plays simple. So that's why people don't really appreciate his game. But we need somebody with a little more ingenuity to them to do more of the ball in the middle of the park. And hopefully we'll get that out of Hayden. Yeah, no, Lottie play right back, and the coach said that, right? Center back, right back. And by the way, there's a player who I know is interested in Jamaica. I don't know if you guys like this player. I'm trying to, sometimes you get a little bit seasoned. I can't remember things, But he's Jamaica heritage. You guys know him, probably know him more than I do. But I've been told from very good sources that he's interested. Right? I think Max Aarons. So we know about Max for years now. I've been told Max is interested. I think Max is better than the right back that we have. Is he better than Lati? Don't know. Because he's played Championship and Premier League back and forth. But I think Max is better than Lemba or Gray. And my understanding is that Max is interested. Just got to go do them papers, Max. Max Aaron's interested. I've been told that from very reliable sources. So if that's the case, I know some people don't like more overseas born players in the team, but you know what? More than Merron. Yeah, no, Lulu, turn at all, Lulu. Come like a Titanic. Neither does he dip his shoulder. If you're a midfielder, people, to me, it's a fundamental thing you need to do. Watch Partey from Arsenal play. Watch Rodri play. Watch De Bruyne play, even though they're not. De Bruyne is not a 6. Ability to take the ball in the half turn or drop your shoulder and create space is an imperative. And then if you get the ball between the line, the first line of defense is an imperative. Midfield can't do that. Can't do that. Midfield is not have the ability to do that. That takes some skill and some guile and some confidence. I think the best at that is probably like Busquets. I was watching some tape of Busquets the other day. Busquets beat you without moving the ball or moving at all. It's like amazing. Go watch some tape of Busquets on YouTube, people. Let's watch Busquets. Get out of that trouble. It's amazing. Some turns and spin, drop shoulder. Crazy, crazy, crazy. We need some of that in the midfield. Ravel have some of that, Ravel's a little bit different player. But Ravel has some of that. Ravel, jerky moves come before him even get the ball sometimes. Create space before him get the ball. Know where he's at all time. Know where all his opponents are. Our midfielders, 2 times in that game in Jamaica, 2 about 3 times, Palmer get dispossessed because he had no idea where he was on the field or where your opponent was. His head was not on a swivel. Right? I heard Fabregas talking about that the other day. Your head got to be on a swivel. That's basic football. We play in midfield. You got to be looking 24/7 as if somebody will run you down and want to take your lunch money. Your head should be on a swivel, 24/7 looking. Palmer got dispossessed 2 or 3 times. Men ain't glance 1 time to where he is. Like he might play by himself. In an island by himself, I play. He might play professional football in midfield. Shouldn't be like that. Now where Pogba will be. Yeah, Pogba beating drug suspension and cut down significantly. Same, all right. Yeah, Drew Ross. I mean, you play football, you play midfield, and you know where you are. That's not good. You guys can remember those plays with Palmer, It was embarrassing. I even heard the coach mention it, actually. Right? It wasn't the field, it was him. Yeah, I think we should think about Max Aarons coming in, actually. Max is a decent player. But I hope them fix the field. Well, the field not fixed now. Hope them fix the field so we can have a good field to play upon. God, that field is atrocious. All right, people. I've overstayed my welcome. First of all, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. It's always good getting the support from you. Before you leave, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to both Balanced Views. You have to go into that and find it on YouTube, and Cranky Live, which is this channel. And I'll see you when I see you. Max Aaron's coming. He wants to come, is my understanding. But he hasn't filed anything yet. But he wants to come. Okay, no, there's no secret out of people. My understanding that Max want to come. Max ready now. Because, every one of the players want to play for England, right? They say that. Max is not old, by the way. But at some point, if they are realistic, they'll say, I'm on the bench at Bournemouth. My game is not sure. They got Trent. They got James. They got Walker, who's getting older. They got other people coming through the ranks. They got White, if he decides to go play for England. There's a bunch of right backs there. Will I ever get a game? Nah. You know what? Let me be realistic. Jamaica is my second choice. And I know Jamaicans hate it, but get over yourself. Your second choice when it comes to English-born player. Just like any player born in Jamaica, another country's second choice for them if they have another nationality they can play for. That's how the world works. That's how the world works. So, Max, if you want to come, we'll get your people as my youth and come join me. We need a right back. We have 2 good left back. We have 2 half-decent right back. We have some decent centre half. We need midfielders. And we need another centre forward. Let me say it before we go. So we can get, you know what I'm going to do? I'll get beaten and run. I'll get beaten and run. Remember, let me get beaten and run. Could be done to kick it off. I am not sold on Antonio. I've said it before. I'm going to get beaten on it. Especially Chris want to beat me. I know that he want to beat me, Chris. Me like my forward them can create something out of nothing. So I'm not totally sold on Havertz. Havertz has scored enough goal. My centre forward have to have some differentiating quality. Antonio Rodman down and working about 10 foot and 10 arm, but I'm not sold. Mr. Cephas, I run past people the other day. I'm centre forward to do that. I'm going to get the thing, but we don't get enough ball. We don't see you do nothing one-on-one to create nothing and no game. Yes, you turn the cube on you, but you mean too close to you. You shouldn't get turned us up. We need more people. Right? So anyway, I'll go before I get my beaten. Antonio, if you do better, I'll see him to find another. No, I'm going to say nothing. I'll leave it alone, people. Anyway, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for being here. I'm going to click out, and I see you next week. So have a great weekend. Peace out. Cranky Life is the best to be now. For the best sports talk, and it's free, yo. Cranky Life will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Cranky Life, kill them. Cranky Life, heed them. Cranky Life, want them. Cranky Life. From the courts to the field, we'll never lose because Cranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Cranky Life, kill them. Cranky Life, heed them. Cranky Life, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life, where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Cranky Life, get to know the name because Cranky analysis is never lame. Cranky Life, give me my Cranky Life. I want my Cranky Life. Must have my Cranky Life. Whether it's football or track and field, you know Cranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and defeat and subscribe and don't miss a beat of Cranky Life. Kill them, Cranky Life. Heed them, Cranky Life. Want them, Cranky Life. If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Cranky Life. Tune into Cranky Life. Like up Cranky Life. Subscribe to Cranky Life. Cranky Life coming to you on weekdays. Cranky Life sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Cranky will always bring the heat. Cranky Life, Me say fi tell them cranky life. Me say fi eat them cranky life. On them cranky life. Cranky life will be around. Cranky life is the best in town. Me say fi eat them. Me say fi want them. Me say fi eat them. Want them, eat them, want them. Cranky life. Cranky life. Eat them, want them, eat them, want them. Cranky life. Cranky life. Eat them, want them, eat them, want them, eat them, want them. Cranky life. Cranky life. Cranky. Eat them, want them, eat them, want them. Eat, want, eat them.